Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cams rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, and good morning. Today is September the 11th, 2021, and we are 20 years ahead of the tragedy of 2001. Got a good show for you today, though. Mark Hogan isn't in today. He is spending time with his family. His dad is celebrating his 92nd birthday.
Oh, wow.
So happy birthday, Joe Hogan. And he's a good man and interesting dude, too. So I'd love to get him in here at 92. I don't know if it's going to happen, but yeah. Also, just to let you guys know, Mark has started his own podcast, and it's titled Brain Droppings. And it's going to be available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, and wherever podcasts are available. He's already got an intro out there, so let's support him. Mark's a good dude. He's interesting. And this is going to be an audio-only thing, and I think it's going to be great. I listened to his intro last night, and it sounded good. Good audio quality.
Nice.
Mark's got some great stories, so I think it's going to be an entertaining thing. So look it up, Brain Droppings. Let's give this guy some support and send him on his way. He's also going to continue here at Hank's Think Tank, but as again, today he's with his family. So if you've subscribed in the past month or so, appreciate it. We did really good last month. We're up to 337, I believe, shooting for 500 by the end of the year. That would be nice, and we've got some events and things like that coming up that's going to help us get there. All right, today we've got the illustrious Matt Peterson. And this is the second time for Matt to be here. Last time he was here, we had some problems, some technical difficulties. We shot this really long podcast, and everybody smoked cigars. We drank wine. It was a great time. But unfortunately, in the end, there was some video loss and even some audio issues that I had to face. I was really embarrassed, and I'm sorry about that happened, Matt, because it was a great podcast. And I wish I could have saved at least a portion of it. It didn't happen. But we're going to try it again today, and hopefully we'll make it all the way through, all the way to the edit and the upload. And
absolutely.
And actually get you there on YouTube.
I'm a little disappointed. It's only 9 o'clock, so we can't start drinking wine.
Well, we could. There's no rules here at Studio 13. I can go grab a bottle if you want.
No. It's Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning. This isn't good.
Yeah, I guess it'd be kind of a hard way to start the day.
Yeah.
Because I'd be in bed by noon.
I was going to say, I'm out, dude.
Yeah. So today is it's 9/11 again, and we're 20 years out, and everybody's always got their story about where they were.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember really, really, really like it was yesterday. I was living in a house just right down the road from here. I had gotten up early that morning. I had a computer store in town that I ran, and I don't know what was going on with that, but I had gotten up early, took a shower, got ready, and I never watched the news in the morning. It's just I never turned the TV on.
Right.
But that day, for some reason, I decided to turn it on. And at the time I did, the first plane had already hit. And I was looking at the images on TV going, what idiot did that?
Right.
What kind of mechanical malfunction happened?
Right.
And then I'm wondering, man, that couldn't have been, because that's a big fire. It could have been just a little biplane or something.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what is going on? And at that time that my thoughts were happening, the second plane hit.
Yep.
And I believe it was Peter Jennings, because I love that dude. I thought he was like the James Bond of the news.
Yeah. He was bad at the bone.
Yeah, he was too cool.
Yeah.
But, the second plane hits, and at that time, I think it dawned really quickly on everybody that we were at war.
That's right. That's right.
And the bad thing about 9/11, and I think the thing that people who weren't there don't understand, you got 20-year-olds nowadays that truly don't understand
That's right.
where we were as a nation prior to 9/11.
Right.
We had a sense of safety and security at home that's never come back.
That's right.
And that's the big thing that I think the terrorists took from us on that day. Of course, 2,996 lives, I think, were taken. And a lot more happened. But I think the big thing was the fact that we lost our sense of security in this nation.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, have lost a lot of our freedoms and such.
Agreed.
So
Yeah,
it's been tough.
They what happened on 9/11 was horrific, and to go kind of along with what you're talking about, it put fear in our society.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, we talk about loss of security, like you said, but it installed fear that was never there before.
Right.
I mean, it never was. And like you said, so that doesn't go away. So now all of a sudden we're still dealing with it. And,
right.
Not to get super political, but I mean, there's been a lot of people that's profited off of that fear.
Oh yeah. I mean, there has been a lot of profit made off of fear. There's profit off of everything that comes about.
Yep.
My problem is that I'm not the type of person that's willing to give up my liberty for security.
I agree with that 100%.
So, even though we're afraid, I think we need to understand that your personal security is your personal obligation and your personal responsibility, and you don't put that off on government.
Nope.
Yep. And I think that's one of the big problems that society, at least in this country, has today.
I agree.
Is
with
we
that.
look to government for everything.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
that was born out of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And that I just
Yep.
have a problem agreeing with it. Well, where were you that morning? What happened?
Well, that morning, actually, the day before, I had a job and I got stung in the eye by a bee.
Oh God!
And so
the eye?
well, and the eyebrow, but my whole eye that night had swole up and just shut. And my wife, we were living in Atascocita at the time. We went to the little minor emergency, and we were sitting there watching it, in the waiting room, and they took us back. Of course, everybody was interested in it, so the doctor's like, "Here's a shot, man. Let's go."
Yeah.
Like, all right, here, I'm treated you. You're gone. We got to get back and see what's happening.
Right.
And we went back to our home in Atascocita, and watched the second plane hit, and then it was just very, very real.
Yeah.
And
I think everybody was glued to the TV for probably 24, 36 hours.
Yeah.
There just wasn't a whole lot of movement.
That's right.
I went and opened, after all this happened, I went and opened the store. I printed up a document that said we're closed. And I closed the store and went back home. And I think the store was closed for about a week.
Yeah.
And I couldn't work. I was
Yeah.
just too concerned and too into what was going on and trying to figure it all out.
That's right.
Another thing that still throws me today was one of my first thoughts. I remember I called someone, and I'm not sure who it was, but I remember explaining to him, I said, yeah, we're at war. This is on our soil.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened.
That's
Of
right.
course, we had Pearl Harbor, but that was in Hawaii.
That's right.
Still wasn't mainland United States.
That's right. Yep.
And I was thinking, wow, and then my next thought was that we would so violently scorch the earth that there wouldn't be any terrorists left to worry about in just a short matter of time.
Yep.
And I was still surprised today that we didn't. Because I thought for sure we would. As horrific as it was, I was like, yeah, man, there's no way we're living through this.
That's right.
And yeah, I mean, America's gone through quite a few passages since then. And
Yeah, man.
I don't know if we're any better off 20 years later.
I personally think we're worse off, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing I was talking to my kids about this morning was the day of and the weeks and even up into months later, you had a unified America.
Absolutely.
A unified America, regardless of your political affiliations. You had a unified America that was like, this is the common goal.
Right.
Our personal liberties, freedom, and security has been, molested.
Right.
Let's go. We're unified in this, and we haven't seen that since then, I mean,
it's tragic.
Yeah, it's just everything's been divided. It's stupid. basically.
It really is.
I mean,
you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I call it team mentality because it reminds me a lot of what happens in a football stadium. You know, how you get one side that supports one team and one side that supports another, and they're willing to kill each other over, you know, just a small dispute. So, yeah, the polarization is really scary to me because I don't think that, God, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I don't think there's a way back from it except for it's going to have to collapse before it gets better, you know? And I'm hoping maybe we can find some common ground again, but I don't want it to be a common enemy either.
That's right.
I don't want to be attacked on our soil.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't
You know
want
what I mean?
that
So-
for sure. No way.
Don't really know how to get back there. I'm hoping somebody intelligent will figure it out. But, you know, and COVID hasn't helped either. That's been another thing that has further divided the nation.
That's right.
You know, so it seems like everything that's happening lately is just driving a wedge.
Well, you could
know?
see it. Yeah, you could see it in the media, man. I mean, everything for the past 2 years, even 3 years, even prior to COVID, it's been division.
Right.
You know, I mean,
it sucks.
Yeah, it's
know?
crazy.
What do you do? You know? And the thing is everybody feels like they have to jump on one side or the other.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot of middlemen left.
Right. It's
you know?
true.
And that's too bad.
That's
because
very bad.
I think if more people were in the middle, they could help buffer the two sides.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
I
so
mean,
that
for
had to
sure, man. I mean, like, hey, it's like I always tell my kids when they would do something wrong. Fortunately, I was the only child, so I didn't get to blame it on anybody else. You know,
You could have blamed it on the dog or
well, I
something.
tried to blame it on my imaginary friend, and then that became a whole different issue.
Yeah,
you
there
know,
you go.
but no, with my kids, man, I have 3 of them, and they would all, you know, do something crazy, and I'm like, all right, give me your side. All right, give me your side. Give me your side. The truth's always in the middle somewhere, man.
Yeah.
It's never one side or the other. The truth's always in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, so
Maybe that's what we need to understand as a nation. Is the truth's in the middle somewhere.
I think we need to, man.
you know,
I do think we need to.
stop bickering about petty stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Bull
Move on
crap
from
is
there.
what it is, really.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Well, man, I'm glad we talked about 9/11 a little bit. I was watching it on the news this morning, and it's just soul crushing.
Oh,
you know, they're you know, saying all the names again.
Oh, I know.
You know, and that's just really hard to watch, man.
Yeah.
You know,
It really is.
it's tough. It's a tough way to start the day.
It is. And you know, like I was telling you earlier, even with my kids, man, you know, they learned about it. And then the reality of it became something completely different when we started explaining and put personal things to it. You know, this is where we were. This is what we saw, you know, this and that. And, you know, again, regardless of your political affiliation or anybody listening, you know, George Bush at that time, dude, he gave one of the best speeches ever.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody, it resonated with everyone, you know.
You know, but George Bush was still a tough president, though.
No, he
And
was.
we've lost that, too.
Yeah.
We haven't had a tough president. Not really tough. Not somebody who's willing to stand up and say, look, we'll kill every one of you.
Yeah.
You know, and that, to me, right now especially, that's what needs to be said.
Oh, gosh.
You know, I mean, I'm sorry. I know that murder's not a good thing, and, you know, it goes against everything that's godly. But at this point, where we are, if we don't get our toughness back and put on our armor and basically don the habiliments of warfare, it's not going to be good.
Well, you know, the thing about it, you know, when you say stuff like that, it reminds me of a passage in the scripture where it says that Moses was the meekest man on the earth.
Really?
And you're like, how could you be the meekest man on the earth leading over 1 million people across a desert that are complaining and everything else and doing war along the way?
Yeah.
How?
And everybody's hot, hungry, angry.
Yeah, that's right, man. I mean, you know, but you look at the definition of meekness, right? It's strength under control.
Really?
Yeah, strength under control. In the Hebrew, that's what it means, strength under control.
That's cool.
So, you know, you had this guy that was willing to promote and to execute strength, all the while being humble and
Right.
exercising humility.
Iron fist, velvet glove.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or like Teddy Roosevelt said, speak softly and carry a big stick.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So, but unfortunately, we've lost both of those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, as a whole, with our leadership, we've lost both of those things.
I know.
And
You know, it concerns me. Where do we go from here?
that's a great question.
Yeah, we got to figure it out.
Prayer, man.
Yeah.
Just prayer and voting. Gosh, have mercy.
Vote.
Vote.
Absolutely.
Please vote.
Absolutely vote.
Gosh.
And not only vote.
Don't vote stupid.
You know, a lot of people think that it ends at their vote, but it actually begins at the vote.
That's exactly right.
You need to become civically involved. You need to be involved in your community.
That's right, man.
In the nucleus of your community, and expand that out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. If we all did, you know, the heroes of the world would emerge naturally.
Yeah.
You know, instead of staying hidden and just casting that vote.
That's right.
And feel, you know, and everybody wears that sticker real proud. I voted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but
Okay.
it takes more than that. It really does.
But then you go home and watch freaking Jeopardy.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly, but I mean.
And then most people suck at Jeopardy too.
Yeah, oh,
so,
yeah. Dude, I suck at Jeopardy.
I do
Wheel of
too.
Fortune, it's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm colorblind, so I can't see which ones are highlighted.
I don't watch either one. I just remember them.
But yeah, you got to be involved. And see, you're an involved guy. I mean, you're on the water board.
Yeah.
I know that you know a whole lot of people in this community, and they listen to you. Plus, you pastor your own church.
Mm-hmm.
So it's guys like you that emerge out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be responsible, and you got to take an effort, at least a small one, to be an active part of your community.
Agreed, man.
And I know everybody's tired of me saying that, but that's just the way it is.
Well,
The way I feel.
but it's the truth. So, I mean, I was always taught, man, that if you believe in something, your community, your family, you know, whatever it may be, you know, your church or whatever, you know, the organization you're a part of, you invest threefold: time, talent, and treasure.
I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Time, talent. So you actively get involved with your time. You put your talent. Everybody has a gift in some shape, form, or fashion. You know what I mean? You invest that into that cause, and then you put your money where your mouth is.
There you go.
I mean, it's just the truth of it. And taxes don't just suffice. You
Right.
know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
come on. We got to support the people that we believe in that are running for positions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We got to invest time into that. We have to invest time in our community and
Charity
our
work.
families, charity work.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
there's none of that going on. I mean, very
There-
little.
there-
It's the
there's some.
same people.
It is the same.
It's
people.
the same people
Yeah.
you'll see everywhere. And
Pareto's-
you're like, where's the rest of us? You
It's
know what I'm saying?
Pareto's law. You know, the rule of 80-20.
Okay.
So 20% of the people are the ones that do
80% of the work.
80% of the work. And I mean, it's a
Yeah,
law. It's
that's
like
true.
that everywhere.
That's true.
You know, and I think Pareto's could be defeated if everyone got involved. But
Yeah.
it's just going to be hard to do.
Well, and see that
Yeah.
was the thing we were talking about, like 9/11, the unity. Everybody got involved. You mentioned Pearl Harbor. Everyone got involved. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
saying? I mean, it changed industry how many people got involved.
Sure.
Because all the men got unified and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
this isn't happening here." You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? Same thing with 9/11, you know? So, I mean, like I said, women started running the factories and doing all the work that their men were doing because they were off at work, you know, or
Yeah.
off at war, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Protecting our freedoms.
And
You
see,
can't
that-
even get a guy to get up to go to work nowadays. I mean, if he's
I know.
if he's under 20 years old, or actually I'll say under 30,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
Yeah, we're a different
Really,
breed.
man?
We're a different
You know?
breed, man. We've gotten complacent and lazy.
yeah,
And I think the reason why we've gotten complacent and lazy is because everything is easy these days.
it is.
Everything
man.
comes easy.
Everything's instantaneous.
That's right.
Everything. It started with the microwave.
It did start with the microwave. We live in a microwave age.
That's right.
You know,
That's
you wanna
exactly
eat,
right.
You want to eat? Bing.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right, 3 minutes here. Flip it. 3 more minutes. I'm done.
You got a hot meal.
I don't have to stay over the stove. I don't have to do the ingredients.
That's right.
We're good to go.
Yeah. Microwaves, fast food, convenience stores.
Yeah,
You
man.
name it. Everything's easy.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you think about the guys, you know, and it's interesting because I used to look at a lot of the pictures from the 30s and the 40s at men in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were tough. They were cut and they were filthy. You know,
That's right.
Because they went to work, and
That's
when they
right.
went to work, they actually worked with tools.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's right.
You know,
Yep.
and OSHA wasn't standing over them going, "Don't do that because you might hurt yourself." These guys would go out and get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
They'd lick the blood off and keep on working.
Keep on going.
That's it.
One of my
And that
favorite
built
pictures.
this country.
Oh, it did, man.
You know?
One of my favorite pictures, and I don't even remember what bridge it is, but it's one of a group of iron workers that are sitting there with their lunch boxes.
Yeah, having lunch.
Oh, having lunch with hammers on one side and this and that and everything across this iron beam that's a million feet above the freaking river,
I
you
love
know?
it. Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, this is what we do.
That's it. And look today. You know, today you see
Like,
all the
hang
guys.
on, man.
Yeah,
Is there,
in the
let me
restaurant
Google this. You know?
with their ties and they're on the phone, the air conditioner blowing in their face.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
Well,
Sometimes, you know? I like the air conditioning.
You work hard. I've seen you
I'm
come
just
back
playing,
from work.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just and I don't know if there's a return back to that. Maybe there is.
Man, look, I think there is. I mean, I think there is, but it's going to take for father figures in the community, again, in the community, in the family unit, and so on and so forth, to actually stand up and go, no, boys, this is what you do. Put the dadgum phone down, grab a shovel, let's go till a garden or some pull weeds, or whatever.
Build a fence.
Yeah. Get out there and cut the grass with a pair of scissors. I don't care. Get off your dadgum phone and let's go to work.
Just go outside and get injured.
Get injured. Let's do it, man.
Gosh. Yeah, I was having a conversation. This was maybe a month ago. A couple of young guys hanging around. These are guys that are like 20, 22. And I just asked the group, I said, how many of you guys have been hurt? Cut yourself, broke an arm, something like that. And the injuries were ridiculous. I had one guy that had a paper cut, told me how painful it was. And
no, you're kidding.
I think there was
paper cut?
Yeah. I think there was 3 or 4 guys who claimed that
Those
the
are
worst
painful.
thing they've ever had was a sunburn. I was like, come on, really? I said, man, I've got scars literally all over my body.
Yeah, man.
The first time I had stitches, I was like 5.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. We were kids throwing each other out of trees and stuff. That's just what we did.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
But we didn't live inside.
No.
We lived outside.
Outside.
My mom was really harsh. She didn't want me in the house.
Yeah.
So when I got up in the morning, she'd give me something to eat, and she'd literally push me outside, shut the door, and lock it. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. I just knew it. Oh, that's
and I
great.
was outside all day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
And that's the way it was for all of us.
Yeah. Well, I'm younger than you are. My mom and dad, they both worked, you know, so they went to work and everything. So I'm stuck by myself. Now, back then there was only like 3 television stations.
Oh, yeah. I remember those days.
There was no
too.
satellite, you know what I'm saying? There was no cable,
no
so it was
internet.
like 2, 8, 13, 26, and 39. Okay, so there was 5. And then it got epic. Like all of a sudden I'm living the high when 20 came in.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
And it was
20.
just reruns of like Gilligan's Island and everything.
Right.
But it was awesome.
Yeah.
Everything on your major station was soap operas. So if you weren't into any of that, you better get outside.
Yeah.
And that's what we did,
Yeah, there
That's
was
what
nothing to do inside.
There was nothing to do inside. And you'd come up with stupid games, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was telling my son, I was like, you know what we used to do? Because he was talking, he was like, oh, I'm just bored. I'm like, oh, dude. I said, you can take your sister out to the pasture. I said, here's what we used to do, man. We used to pick up these rocks and get everybody to stand around a cow patty and just slam the rock down, and whoever got the most poop on them lost.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like, yes, and some people be like, dude, I have my mouth open, But you know what?
That's great.
Our immune system was great.
Oh, yeah. Of course. We're eating lead paint.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Eating Play-Dohs,
Oh, yeah.
Eating Elmer's glue when it dried. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
I mean, I never did.
And, when we were kids, if we got into a fight, our parents would let us fight it out.
Oh,
they
yeah.
didn't stop us, and y'all shouldn't do that. So, and that kind of went away too.
Well, there's no outlet, right?
There's really
our
not.
kids really don't have an outlet, man.
Yeah.
I mean, their outlet is they zone out on whatever virtual reality thing that there is, which isn't really reality. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, you saying that, I mean, we used to go behind the portable buildings at the school and duke it out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the way it was.
When you left, somebody won, somebody got beat, and there was no participation trophy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you either walked away with pride or you walked away with something else going, dude, I just got my butt kicked.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I came home with many a black eye, busted lip, and everything else.
Yeah, it's like my son asked me, he goes, Dad, did you ever lose a fight? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just as many as I won.
Right.
It's like, and if anybody tells you they never lost a fight, they're full of it, never been in one. You know what I'm saying? There's always somebody tougher, man.
My mom was Dutch, and she was rough, man. So she'd stop me at the door, and she'd be like, hey, that other kid better look as bad as you do.
That's awesome.
Like, really, as bad as I do. Thanks, Mom,
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah, there were a couple times I just got beat down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just beat down. It was bad.
Yeah, that's why I told my son. He was like, well, name me one. I said, first one I'm going to tell you is my very first fight. I said, it was just something stupid, just like I want to get in a fight kind of thing. There was no offense given or anything like that. And I had a buddy that was telling me, he's like, dude, whatever you do, we get behind these buildings. Don't push them. Don't push them and start talking garbage. Just punch them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I got this. So the first thing I did was I pushed him and I go, man, you want some? Kapow! Dude, I got nailed and I got my butt kicked because I'd never been hit up to that point. You know what I'm saying?
It's surprising.
It is very surprising. and so, of course, you purpose in your heart at that point in time, I'm never going to do this again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is my life.
That's it.
I'm a fighter. Yeah, you get beat the next time. After about 10 times, you get the hang of it. You know?
Yeah, I got beat up a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I was a small dude.
Well, yeah.
So it happened quite often.
Yeah.
But I didn't quit. That was the bad thing about it.
Well, that's commendable. Though.
I lived to tell about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But back to the kids in electronics these days. When I was a kid, I never heard of another kid committing suicide.
Right.
And these days, these kids get all emotionally jacked up on this stuff, and they go out and kill. What in the hell?
Dude.
And you'd think the parents would be intelligent enough to see what's going on and see that their kids are too white. They don't have any tan.
Right.
They're not used to the sun. They can't breathe outside. And you need to expose them to that more.
You have to, man.
We're going to raise a whole generation of just softies.
Well, yeah. And there's going to be no fortitude there, no mental fortitude. Everybody's running for their safe space. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, dude.
And what's going to happen? The government's going to step in and create more and more and more agencies to protect these people.
That's right.
Well,
it's like,
and give them what they need.
Think about when you were a kid. What was your safe space? It was just what we were talking about. You ran outside.
I had to go outside.
You had to go outside.
Yeah, couldn't go home. No. That's for sure. My mom would beat me to death.
No, you couldn't go home, and sometimes you couldn't be around your buddies, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you took off, I get on my bike and just ride, or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go hang out at the bio. We were in the Heights area and had all the bios cut through.
Oh, nice.
So I'd hang out at the bio. That was the best place to go.
Nice.
It was like being in a natural stream.
Yeah.
When you're a kid.
Well, see, where we live, there were several places. It was all centered around this one giant piece of property. At one time, it was just a swamp, and there was this old fiberglass boat in it. And, man, some of the kids that lived down the road, and there was only like 3, so, I mean, we were all friends, and we'd get in this boat and we'd paddle out and we'd realize it's filling up with water.
Yeah.
Hurry, paddle back, and we'd get over there, and then there was this giant, it was giant to me then. I don't even know. It was probably only, 48 inches in diameter, but a piece of fiberglass.
Yeah.
And we'd all just sit in there and, we'd get bored, and then it was like, let's roll this thing. So we'd get in and we'd start rolling it like a hamster.
Yeah.
And we'd get covered in freaking fiberglass, and then we'd have to go soak in vinegar or something like that,
Yeah.
But anyway, when all of it was said and done, everybody's safe space was somewhere around there. And then there ended up being this old broke down dump truck. So, we'd get in the back and just lay down underneath the pine trees or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, as kids, you'd be like, all right, I got to get out of the house. I got in trouble. I'll be back when dinner's ready, kind of thing, And you'd go and jump in the back of the dump truck and somebody else would be there. And you're like, hey, man, what's going on with you?
Cool. Yeah.
That's your safe space, man,
We were near a train station.
Yeah.
A freight train station. And so we'd always take the train to each other's house because it was quite a distance. And it was an easy thing to do. So we're jumping trains all the time.
Oh, wow.
But I think the coolest thing we ever did, there were maybe 10 of us. And we were on the train trestle right by Durham Bridge, where Durham crosses over White Oak Bayou.
Okay, yeah.
And there was a piece of a track sitting there on the side of and we're on the train trestle, so we're quite high up. Somehow we managed to grab that track, all of us, and turn it and then dump it off that bridge. And when it hit right next to where the ground and the concrete come together.
Oh, no.
And sunk about maybe 10 feet. But it had a good 10 or 15 feet sticking out. So we immediately went and stole a bunch of paint and painted it all up and tagged it. So that thing stayed there for years after that. They couldn't figure out a way to get it out.
I would imagine. They
pretty
probably
cool.
have wanted posters up for you guys, too.
Probably so. But, it was, and the other thing that I thought was great was it was perfectly vertical. It wasn't crooked at all. It looked like it was done purposely.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was cool.
That is cool.
We did all sorts of stuff out that train station and jumping trains and jumping off.
Well, you found a way to entertain yourself.
We jumped off one time going to this guy's house, and I had never jumped off at this spot before. And my buddy had already jumped off like a block before that. And the train was speeding up, and I was getting worried, getting scared and scared. Finally, I jumped off, and I just said, I'm going to roll to keep from breaking anything. And I rolled into a big old briar patch. Oh, man, it was horrible.
Ooh, that is horrible.
I was jacked up pretty bad, I think I was bleeding from just about everywhere.
I imagine.
But it was, small scratches. So
Oh, yeah.
When I went home, my parents were like, what in the hell? Did somebody just beat you or something? What happened?
Did somebody throw a pissed off cat at you? They climbed all over you.
Yeah, it was terrible. I've got great stories about it. I had a good life as a kid.
Yeah.
I was really lucky because there was a lot to do.
Absolutely.
In the area we were at. And there were no boundaries. My parents were just like, when we holler for you at 5 or 6 or when it starts getting dark,
right,
be around. Other than that, go do whatever you want.
Go do what you want. Yeah.
And, I had crazy friends.
Yeah.
And they were all over the Heights area, and it was a big area to cover.
Oh, yeah. That time it was, for sure.
Yeah, we rode bikes and did everything. You name it.
Yeah, man.
It was a good time.
That's awesome.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Buster Brown and the Buster Brew.
Okay.
Buster's Brew, great restaurant, New Caney, Loop 494 and 1485.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how did it come about? You had told me the story before. I thought it was great.
Well, it came about actually on vacation. We had stopped at this coffee shop over in somewhere in North Carolina, I believe, because we were on our way to we were on the Outer Banks, and we drove down and we found this little hometown coffee shop.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, man. And this is when we had our first introduction actually to like Black Rifle Coffee, the veteran-owned company. That was pretty cool. And of course, you couldn't buy it because it had like bad words all over the bags. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Oh yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah,
but
see that I haven't. Yeah.
Well,
Black
this was
Rifle
old,
Coffee?
man. Oh
Okay.
yeah, dude. Black Rifle Coffee though, man, it's really good. And but they're veteran owned and operated to only employ veterans. So
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to support them. Anyway, we were sitting there at this coffee shop, man, and my mom and my wife Taylor, they were sitting there talking, and was like, my wife goes, "This would be really cool to do," and I mean, we've all loved coffee our whole lives and the art of it and everything like that. And, in the process, as soon as we got back, I was going to be starting developing our strip center, at our location. And my mom was like, let's do it. We'll have a room, we'll have a space.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it, and it was like, okay. So we did it, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Then my wife had a vision for this before 99 started coming in. It was still the rumors of it, So we kind of wanted to get in before all the other development and everything like that. And she wanted it to, she had a vision for it to be like a hometown feel,
Definitely has that.
Yeah. So she wanted it to be like, you used to go up to different places and you'd have your old timers sitting there, drinking coffee, talking about whatever,
Right.
She kind of had that vision for it. And it came about. I mean, it came about. I mean, we've got our regulars that come in there and they sit down. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, So
And the food's great.
The food,
the coffee's great.
The food is fantastic. My wife eats it every day. I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
And if not lunch, it definitely breakfast. We serve a bad to the bone breakfast, dude. Bad to the bone.
Yeah, and no matter what you get there, it's good.
Yeah. My personal favorite, which may be why I've put on a lot of weight, is called the Buster's Bowl. Have you ever had that?
I have.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I know.
Biscuit, gravy, egg, sausage. I mean, it's like everything in this bowl covered in gravy.
Yeah, the only thing it doesn't come with is a diving board, and it should.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyway, breakfast came about when we first opened. It was during our season of rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told the guys, I told Taylor, I said, look, I'll open up at the shop, I said, and then somebody just needs to come in around 6:30 when we leave, because at the time we were open probably about 4 or 5 o'clock, because we didn't know when to open, when to close, and that came through a bunch of trial and error.
Yeah, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, so anyway, I told Taylor, I said, man, buy me a little griddle. I'm gonna make some. I gotta eat, man. I said, I gotta eat. I gotta make myself some breakfast. And so I started making myself breakfast, and I was like, man, I think we could sell some breakfast to people, because people like come in and be like, what you cooking over there? I'm like, dude, this is my sandwich, man. So then it was like, anyway, we started making food, and it grew from a little griddle like this to this to this. Now it's the size of this table, and got a lot of things on the menus, man. So
and the menu evolves. I like that too.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Buster's Brew is walking in the door, because it's always the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Hank, how's it going?
That's right.
Where do you get that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true. No, it's true.
I mean, really, where do you get that?
That's
then
true.
usually there'll be people in the dining room as well, and they'll, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's people in,
and they'll leave their table, come over and sit next to you and just talk, just to catch up. Yeah, where do you get that?
Yeah.
You don't get that very often.
No, you don't.
You really don't.
And even if you get it at one of the more commercial establishments, it doesn't have that feel to it.
No, it
You
doesn't.
You walk in, you can definitely feel.
Well, you feel like you're in the way. In fact, it was Thursday night. We were at a restaurant. We ran into, I think, 3 different people, all families, that we knew. And you go over there to talk to them. They come over there to talk to you, and you're dodging, you know, and you're like, you just feel like you're in the way,
right?
That's one thing I do love about the ambiance of the brew. It's just like, hey, all right, there's many times I've come in, talked to you, I've talked to whoever's just sitting there. I mean, they may be there with just their wives, and that's their only chance. But I'm going to ruin that for you, because I'm going to sit down and I'm going to say, hey, how you doing?
There you go. Yeah,
It's
that's
just
it.
the way it is.
It's the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
If we had more places like that too, it'd be a better place.
I agree. I agree with that for sure.
So hopefully it won't change, and I don't think it
No,
will,
I
because you
don't
guys
think
got a
so,
good
man.
grip on that.
Yeah, and I mean, and the people that work with us, man, all the girls, dude. They're
all great.
Well, 90% of them grew up in this community. They learn the people that come in on a regular basis. They become friends,
Right.
or whatever. I'm going to throw this out there. There's a guy, his name's Mr. Rex. I won't tell you his last name just for whatever.
Okay.
But he's a veteran,
Okay. I know who he is.
He comes in every single day. And on certain days, he gets certain things. you know. Then all of a sudden our girls realize he's not coming in. What's going on with Mr. X? You know, and he had some health issues and everything. This is before COVID, so it wasn't COVID, you know, but he had some health issues. They found out where he was. So then they would take turns taking him his lunch on that day because they knew what he'd eat.
Right. That's awesome.
Dude, I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Yeah,
and we didn't even have to tell them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the ladies that work for us, they're like,
yeah,
they get involved. You know what I'm saying?
they do. And the thing is
That's
that
just beautiful.
at least with me, they all made an effort to know me,
That's right.
to say,
Yeah.
what's your name? Who are you? And
That's right.
what do you do? And just have a conversation.
That's
You
right.
know, you don't have a conversation at McDonald's or nothing
No,
like that.
no,
You say what you're going to do and you step to the right and
That's
hope
right.
you get it. You know?
You know, we just recently did a remodel, you know.
Yeah, it
and
looks great, too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I'm going to give a shout out to Matt Odom with Texas Pride. Or
Okay.
Pride of Texas. Pride of Texas.
Pride of Texas. He's the
Yeah.
guy that did the construction.
And he's done several things at our house. He's
Bang up
he's
job.
A fantastic guy, man. But anyway, he, you know, since the remodel, we took a sign down that used to be up there, and we're going to hang it back up. But I was sitting there looking at it in the garage before I came over, and Taylor had wrote on it. You know, it was a beautiful frame with like the chalkboard paint
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and then wrote
yeah.
on it says, "If you can't find a seat, pull up a chair and make a new friend."
That's it.
Dude.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's like the heart. You know what I'm saying?
it really
so
is.
it was. I mean, that's awesome, and that's what happens. You know,
Yeah.
and that's where we have church and you know on Sunday mornings, you know, and everything, or Bible study. So
That's cool.
It's just the atmosphere, man.
Yeah, that's
You know.
it. It's great. Well, thanks for putting the brew together because it definitely became my favorite restaurant.
Hey, man, I only
And
worked there for a little bit. I got to tell that was my wife, bro. My wife and my goddaughter, Kaylin, they got in there and just they kicked butt.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah. And
So,
Kaylin's great.
Yeah.
So she's been running the place for a while and
Yep,
doing really well.
yep,
So yeah, she's a wonderful person too.
yep.
So
Absolutely.
the thing I like also is I can be gone from there for like a month.
Yeah.
You know, come in and it's always the same feeling. It's, you know, hey Hank, how's it going?
That's right.
You know, coffee? Yeah, absolutely. And I love not having to order. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, they'll be like, hey, what are you in the mood for? You gonna have breakfast today? I'm like, yep. You know, and I just get it.
Like I'll make you something.
It's all, yeah.
That's
It's definitely
awesome.
the way to go. So guys, if you haven't been to Buster's Brew, man, you got to go. So yeah, you'll love it.
Very good. You know, you're talking about our evolving menu. I just want to throw this out about the brew as well.
Okay.
A lot of the things on our menu has come from customers.
Really?
Like, hey, could y'all do this and maybe add this and do this? You know, we're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, it becomes like a staple on the menu. Like the Buster's Bowl was actually invented by a customer.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was like, dude, can you make me this and then throw some gravy on top of it? And I mean, everybody that was standing there was like, ooh, I think I'll have one of those too. I'll have one of those too. And then next thing you know, it's like, it just evolves, you know? It's like,
And Terry's
we-
kicking back going, we got to name this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, yeah, everything, you know.
cool.
I mean, all the sandwiches, you know, Taylor sat in the kitchen, man, and just, she made them and would work with them, you know, and everything like that. And then be like, this is it, man. This is the taste.
I like it.
I ate a bunch of sandwiches, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've pretty much had everything on the menu.
I
I'm
mean,
not
during the
mistaken.
experimentation phase.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Anything come out bad?
No, I just kind of missed that stage. Like, let's keep going.
You're their official taste
Yeah,
tester.
man.
Yeah, I got it. So, Buster Brown. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Buster Brown's a big propane company. I think y'all are probably the biggest in this area, for sure. And up to 4 locations now. Is that what it is? Y'all have 4 bottle fill stations, right?
4 locations, yeah. 4, yeah. We have 2 bottle, actually 3 bottle, 4 bottle locations, but our main office is still in the same place.
Yeah, right around the corner from the brew.
That's correct. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fantastic. And then y'all still handle the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And
If we still have it, yeah.
man, do you think they're going to have it this year?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I mean, the rumor is they are,
Yeah.
but that was before the
This
Delta
new surge,
variant,
yeah.
you know, or whatever. So,
well, that comes around February, right?
yeah. Well, the cook-off starts the last week of February,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rodeo itself takes place between the first 3 weeks of March.
Yeah.
So
I would venture to say it's going to happen because I think that we're topping out on the variant now. And we're starting to go back down.
yeah,
You know, and I had the guys from Montgomery County Hospital District in here, and they described that that's probably what would happen is we'd have this big surge, and then people would figure it out, and then it would start to decline. And probably it's going to decline right around the time that, you know, or we'll be at the bottom of that decline right around the time that the
hope so.
So you guys are going to be really, really busy.
I hope so, man. I mean, you know, Lord's been good to us as far as, you know.
Yeah, but y'all have been good to the community too.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
well, I hope so.
You know,
yeah,
so what goes
that's
around
been our
comes around.
strive, you know.
And I think a lot of people don't know that you guys sell tanks. Y'all also sell heaters, component parts. You do service work.
Yep.
I mean, and everybody that I've ever dealt with at Buster Brown has always been amazing. So we have propane here, and I've gotten a lot of things done. And yeah, it's always been a really good experience, and it's been great. I still want to get a tank that gets buried out here, though. For some reason, I want one below ground.
We do it, man.
So
we do it.
And you can't just bury a regular tank underground, right?
No, you can't.
Yeah. So are the ones that get buried, are they square, or what's different?
No. They look exactly the same, except they have a different paint and coating on them. You know, it's anti-corrosive. You know, it's for being underground. You know, and they come with this one little extra thing. It's called a cathodic protector. You know, it's an anode bag basically.
Right. Okay.
And that absorbs the electrical current that causes corrosion in the ground.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you stick metal in the ground, you're going to have electrolysis for sure.
A little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Especially out here.
And you know what was funny is like, man, you know, when the propane industry first was like, all right, you know, you can set tanks, just put these things on it, you know, and everything was, you know, copper at that point, you know. And then it was like, oh man, copper's a conductor.
Big conductor.
So these houses that are getting developed, you know, the ground is on the gas pipe. So everything, the electrolysis in the house, the electrolysis in the ground's going to that gas pipe and running over and hooking to that tank. They're like, oh man, we need to do something about that. That's when polypipe got real in the yellow plastic gas line, you know, like, hey, use this in undergrounds, or at least put you a jumper in there between 2 points of copper, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy, dude.
Really? Is that what y'all use, is the poly?
Yeah, on underground tanks.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And they've also come out with a thing called dielectric union, you know.
Okay.
So the
I'm familiar with dielectric unions.
I'm sure you are. Yeah, and it stops right there, you know, at the base of the regulator,
right.
So it doesn't make it all the way to the tank. You know,
that's cool.
So, you know, I mean, all kinds of things have come up. You know, well, they came up quick because the demand,
right.
you know, came up really fast in these different areas.
Yeah, what I like about a buried tank is, you know, you have a hurricane out here, you start having trees fall and stuff like that. More than likely, I think that tank will be okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Usually, I mean, as far as being protected, for sure, you know.
Yeah.
I personally, you know, I love selling underground tanks, and we love installing them just because it breaks up the monotony of, you know, everything else.
Yeah.
But I like to see my stuff, man.
Do you?
I do, man. I like to see it, dude.
I could dig it. You know, if that's
mean,
what you've been into your whole life, sure, you want to see a tank.
Well, I mean, you know, when we're on vacation, we're driving down the road, like, there's propane tank, there it is, right there. Movies, you're like, that wouldn't explode like that with the shotgun. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just like, come on, man, you know. But, yeah, I like to see them. I mean, 2 reasons. You know, one, you know, like I said, they're fun to install, I love to sell.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like to see, you know, what you're doing, number one, you know, as a company. Mm-hmm. Number 2, as a consumer, I like to see the integrity of my tank.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, see what it does over a period of years.
Yeah, man.
To certain conditions.
Because, I mean, anyway,
yeah,
you know.
That makes sense.
Like I said, we'll do either one, and we're experts at the undergrounds, you know. But
yeah. Well, we would be remiss if we didn't mention your mom and dad through this whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So I wanted to mention Jan to start out with.
Yeah.
She has got to be the most dynamic human being I think I've come across in a long, long, long time.
Absolutely.
She's a member of many, many boards. She's so civically involved, so well known,
Yep.
sharp enough to put your eye out not only once, but twice. Yeah.
That's right. That's for sure.
And she's one of those people that I wouldn't want to debate anything with because I know she would annihilate me, you know?
It depends on the time frame of the debate.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
So she has a week time. Let me know.
Yeah,
what that
like
is.
if you could win within 30 seconds, you give her 5 minutes to think about
Oh,
it
yeah.
before her response,
Yeah,
it's over,
yeah,
man.
you're done.
You're done. You might as
Yeah.
well just go home,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, and there's entities in this community that would not have done as well as they've done without her being involved. The fire department being one of them, ESD7.
Yep.
So she's the president of the board of ESD7.
Yep.
I've been to a lot of those meetings because my wife's on the board as
Right.
well, and just seeing how she handles business
Yep.
and how she thinks about things.
Yep.
I've learned a lot from your mom.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
Your dad, again, you know, super smart guy. He was the president of the propane. What was it called?
Yeah, the TPGA, the Texas Propane Gas Association.
For some reason, TPGA always makes me think of golf.
Golf. Yep. I get that a lot.
But yeah, another really extremely sharp guy, dynamic person,
Yep.
country guy.
Yep.
You know, takes care of cattle and
Yep.
and horses and farm and
Yep.
everything else. Great sportsman.
Yep.
So well rounded.
He
You know,
is.
good
Absolutely.
conversationalist.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, you really hit the jackpot with your folks.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and they hit it with you too.
Well, thank you. I
So,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
So
I'm
yeah,
a
just-
blend between two of them. So, you know, that's what
There you go.
when they get on to me, I always go, hey, man, between you two, it's amazing. I'm like halfway sane.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, so I enjoy my time that I spend with both of them.
Yeah.
And it's not often enough, but I do like it.
No, I know.
And
yeah.
and they're both great people. And I wish I could spend more time with them because I always learn something. I always walk away feeling better about myself too, because those are the kind of people, and I find this a lot with people who are involved in the community. They're the type of people who build other people up. They don't break you down.
That's right.
They don't say, hey, you did this great, except
Right.
they leave it at, hey, you did this great. Thank you.
That's
You
right.
know? And we don't get that enough in this society.
Well, and they wait
know?
then later if there needs to be a correction made. After they've built you up, then they'll come in later. So that's not tore down immediately.
Right.
You know, and that's a beautiful thing. But that's, you know, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. Needing those father and mother figures in the community, in your life to, you know, kind of push you that way. You know?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, they're brilliant at that. They really are.
Yeah. Good people.
Yeah.
So, guys, I don't know who y'all use for propane, but Buster Brown's the way to go. Competitive prices,
Yep.
great service. Usually Johnny on the spot, even when you guys get busy. I know that last year during the freeze, y'all had a tough time.
Yeah, that was
But you
insane.
managed it. You know, that was the thing. And in the short time I was there, which was really short, everybody was thinking ahead and ordering propane and ordering components. And I mean,
Yeah.
y'all made it through that thing looking really good.
Well, I mean, we tried. It was absolutely insane, you know, and I mean, we had to put certain people off for a few days just because there were people that were lower than them that needed
And that
it,
makes
you
sense.
know,
Yeah.
and supply was being a concern. But as a whole, man, our customers, bottle plant, people that were calling in as a whole were just, that was kind of like that unity we were talking about. They were unified. Hey, you know what? I've got 40% here. You know what? Put me off for 3 days.
Yeah.
We can make it unless we lose power. If we lose power, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
they were thinking about other people. And I mean, when it comes to the customers, I got to give them a shout out, man. They were phenomenal.
There you
I
go.
mean, really.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
people came together for that.
They did, man.
And it was tough. And you know, the Almanac claims that something similar, we're in for something similar again this year.
Oh, dear Lord.
Don't know if it's going to be the
Y'all
same.
start praying now.
Buckle up, guys. 'Cause here it comes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I appreciate you coming back in. It's
Absolutely.
been a while, and I know you got a busy schedule, and it was kind of tough to get you here, but, man, we did it.
We did it.
And
Yep.
we did it on September the 11th.
Yeah, man. That was cool.
So,
that was
yeah.
cool.
So hats off to everybody who was affected by that. And, again, I'm almost glad I'm not in there watching it on TV because it's kind of soul crushing for me.
I know, man. I know.
And I hope that there's some way that we can convey how America was prior to this to the children.
Yeah.
Anybody that's under 20 years of age.
That's right.
And maybe even 30, because when you're 10, you don't really comprehend things all that much.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Yeah, and let's just get back to that as a nation. That's right. Let's work on that. Let's think about it and see if there's a way we can figure out a way out of this political polarization and just division that we have over everything.
Yep.
And go from there. Again, Matt, I appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Buster
me.
Brown Propane, Buster's Brew. Both these places are worth going. Heck, I'd go at the same time. Bring your tanks up there, get them filled, turn right around, and go get something to eat. That's what I do.
There you go.
And I've actually done that several times. So absolutely, yeah. And just a shout out to everybody else. Matt's got a really great family, wonderful, beautiful kids. I've met them all. And this is an interesting person. You ever want to have a good conversation? You ever want to know anything about what's going on in our area? You can go to Buster Brown and ask for Matt Peterson, and he'll sit down and tell you. So anyway, guys, I got a couple other things coming up this weekend. Unfortunately, Mark's not going to be here for that. This coming week, we have, I think, Caring Adoptions coming in, and so that's going to be an interesting podcast. They're an adoption agency, and we're going to talk about this new law that just went into effect. It's Senate Bill 8 that bans abortion. And we're also going to talk about the benefits of adoption. And these are the guys to do it. If you've subscribed to the channel, appreciate it. If you haven't, it's just a button. So click it, mash it, push it, whatever you do, and subscribe. And the reason why I want you to subscribe isn't so we make any money off this thing. What happens is it gives the channel legitimacy. And as the channel becomes more legitimate, we get guests like Matt, who are more legitimate guests. And so once these people see that this is a viable thing, they're more apt to come in. And then that way you guys get better content. So it's just subscribing basically helps you out in the long run. So do it. And until the next time, we'll see you later. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Thank you.
We're out. That was freaking great.